Now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining our California Brokers Business Accelerator with our Northern California broker Jeff Green, LA broker Omar Helmand, Riverside Temecula broker MaryJane Morris, and our San Diego broker Tom Bullock, and our guest speaker Tiffany Haazler from Dedicated Credit Repair. Before we begin, I want to say how happy we are to now offer a ton of great free marketing tools to all of our agents. These are now available in the AJI University. Our goal is always to get back to our agents by offering the newest tools and technology to you. None of this would be possible without you and your amazing amount of agent referrals to AJI. As Allison James continues to grow with agents referring other agents to our brokerage, we will be able to provide more of these tools to you. Remember, you can earn a monthly or yearly residual payment simply by having an agent join us. All you need to do is contact Jeff Jabora or Alicia Aratari in our National Growth and Development Department and provide them with the contact information of the agent who you would like to refer over. I would now like to introduce Shelley Hoistis, Senior Loan Officer with our Preferred Lender Movement Mortgage. Good morning, Shelley.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We finally have a little bit of sunshine here in California, at least in San Diego County this morning, and I am thrilled to have it. I hope the rest of you are too. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about some changes that have come down the pike, and some talk you might have heard about some changes as well. The first one is 2017 loan limits. I have mentioned that before, but the base loan limit for conforming has increased from 417 to 424.1. So that's nice for those of you in counties that have some lower loan limits. They have increased slightly. The high balance loan limits for those of us in higher cost areas that do offer high balance conventional, it's increased approximately around 35,000 depending on what county you're in. And FHA has increased slightly as well. If you want specifics in your area, please don't hesitate to email me at shelley.hoiseth@movement.com, and I can shoot that over for you specifically. You've probably heard about the FHA mortgage insurance being reduced. If you did, it has been reneged, so to speak. So there was an anticipated mortgage insurance reduction of about 25%, and it was recently, in fact, on Inauguration Day, it was rescinded so that the reason that I read was for the new administration to be able to learn about the reasons for the reduction and to reassess everything. So I'm hopeful that they still will give us a little reduction, but as of now, the FHA mortgage insurance has remained the same and will not be having any change. In 2016, there was something that was changed that I think is interesting to a lot of people and for you guys as realtors. When someone is converting their current primary residence to a rental, in the past, they had to have a certain percentage of equity and they had to have landlord experience in order to be able to use the rental income to offset that mortgage payment. And that is no longer the case for conventional financing. As long as they have a signed lease agreement, proof that they've received the security deposit and or rent, then we can use that rent amount from the lease agreement to offset that payment. So it works out pretty nice. Now, I have a case where it's a rental property, somebody's converting it to a rental property, they're also doing a refinance on that particular home. In that case, we have to go by the appraiser's value of the rental amount. So, but you guys don't need to remember all that. The main thing is to just know if someone says, hey, I'm going to convert this to a rental and I want to buy something new, I want to keep the other one, I don't think I would qualify for both, don't discount them, have them talk with me, and just know that they no longer need, you know, all those stipulations that they had before. In fact, they're talking about allowing room rent as well for people who have long-term roommates. If they have a track record of receiving it, then there's a possibility of being able to use room rent. That's kind of the next up and coming thing. Don't know if I'm really excited about that because I don't want to go back into the slippery slope that we had with our subprime loans, 14 years ago. But anyway, that's the changes. A very important thing I wanted to let you guys know about are our flyer services through RatePlug. If you're not familiar with RatePlug, it connects directly with your MLS. Right now, I've got the San Diego County MLS and the CR MLS for Riverside County. And what that does is connects to your listings so that when buyers come in and they see your listings, they can play around with the payment, stay in your listing a little bit longer, and make some estimations. It also allows for us to be able to create flyers for you right away for all of your listings with the financial information. And this is something that, with the relationship that we have with Allison James Estates and Homes, it is a compliance thing because we're allowed to do advertising and we're required to do advertising on behalf and for you guys, on those listings. So look for an email from me or my team with a request that says, hey, join RatePlug, and you guys are going to love it. The flyers will come over instantaneously. It pulls it right from the MLS. You don't have to do anything. Just keep in mind that the first 7 photos you upload in the MLS will be used on the flyer. And they will have the financial information. So I went a little bit longer today than I usually do, so I will hurry up and wrap it up. But let me know if you have any questions about the information I sent out or any questions in general, and I will pass it back on to Sheena.
Thank you, Shelley. Now I'd like to introduce MaryJane Morris. Good morning, MaryJane. MaryJane, are you on?
Oh my, here I am. Good morning. I'm sorry, I muted so you guys wouldn't hear me, and then I forgot to unmute. I apologize, everyone. I was saying how happy we are to be dried out here as well, repeating what Shelley was saying after 7 inches of rain. I am excited to present this morning Dedicated Credit Repair and the owner, Tiffany Haazler. One of the things that I get asked about the most from agents is how to do more deals. It is, in some cases, a heartbreaking question for a broker because it's the thing we want most for you. It's an opportunity to succeed. We can't recreate the wheel, but occasionally I run into a new tool that I just can't help but tell you would increase your business. So would you bring up the slide for dedicated credit repair? All right, I wanted to first give a little personal experience. 10 years ago, I got divorced, and life is messy, and you have to clean it up from time to time. And after hearing Tiffany speak at another office meeting here in Temecula, I actually took my credit report to them, and they absolutely, first of all, who you're gonna tell this kind of thing to? Who you're gonna look at and really have good answers and go over your credit report and really make things better? Well, Dedicated Credit Repair can do that. Also, we're going to talk with Shelley about how to convert that to deals for yourself. As you can see on the flyer on your screen, 1 in 4 clients are needed with credit remediation, and we're going to teach you how to do that. Good morning, Tiffany. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me.
You want to tell us a little bit about your, couple of minutes, the elevator pitch about how you got into business and who you are, and then I have some other questions for you.
Sure, absolutely. So dedicated credit repair has been in the Valley, in Temecula Murrieta Valley now for going on 11 years. And our business was started back when, you know, to be completely honest, my husband and I, like everyone else, were hitting the skids in life regarding our finances. And in researching credit repair companies for myself to use, there were none. There were none operating in our area that were registered with the Department of Justice, that were ethical, that were going to help us, you know, clean up our own stuff, basically, in a way that was affordable and ethical. And so we decided to create the business that we wish we'd have had when we needed it. So dedicated credit repair has been not only registered with the Department of Justice every year for 11 years, but we're literally scrutinized by the Department of Justice in order to get a registration renewed. And they look at everything top to bottom, from how you bill your clients, how you market your programs, the methods that you use to remove derogatory payment information, literally everything, to make sure that what we're doing is on the up and up. And so proudly, I can say that once again, we're voted America's #1 credit restoration company, and for medium-sized businesses. So we're still out there being an advocate for clients, and have really learned how to partner with your mortgage lenders to create a program that will quickly and efficiently, ethically and affordably get your clients into a quick escrow, doing business the correct way. Hello?
Can't believe I keep doing that. Can you tell us the difference between credit repair and debt consolidation, you know, the various types that you see in the advertising out there in the world?
Absolutely. So credit repair is really the only thing that a mortgage lender or a real estate agent should be referring clients to if you don't want to murder a mortgage deal. Credit repair is simply disputing derogatory items and or settling open collections and doing everything possible to increase a FICO score. And that FICO score increase, of course, is what puts people into mortgage loans. Working with a debt consolidation company, a consumer credit counseling, you might as well put on the application, yes, I've had a bankruptcy, because they're looked at in underwriting as identical in the sense that they're just they're unacceptable to purchasing a home. So when you're looking to help a consumer fix their credit, you want to go to a credit repair company like Dedicated Credit Repair that is able to help a consumer without it reporting on their credit report as working with a credit counseling of some sort.
What's the common effect of using a credit you know, I'm sorry, I'm not saying the word right, where they're trying to put all their debts and lower their payment, a debt consolidation?
So basically, Mary Jane, it looks just like you've had a bankruptcy on the credit. You could literally, first and foremost, when you work with a company like that, what they're doing is taking a monthly fee from you and literally not settling your debt for months and months and months to create seasoning so that when they do go to settle your account, the creditor will settle for a low amount. But while you're in a credit repair, while you're in a program like that, you're actually still receiving 30-day late. Even though you might be paying them a fee to settle your debt, you're still receiving, 30-day lates on every single account that you're working on settling. So definitely a no-no.
That's what I was trying to get to. It actually creates a slow pay. Your credit score goes down because you're not making the payments as originally agreed, correct?
Correct, but it also, more importantly even, it actually reports on your credit report, and a mortgage underwriter is going to see it as bad as having a bankruptcy. So it's definitely a no-no.
And I will second that. I think the term you're looking for is debt consolidation.
Yes.
So debt consolidation, or if someone goes to that type of a company, it does absolutely destroy your credit, and it will show continual 30-day lates over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, they actually are better off to just file bankruptcy if they're going to do something like that, or, you know, obviously they're going to do credit repair. It's much better. So, yeah, do not send people to do any kind of these credit counseling is what they are considered. Credit counseling.
Correct.
You want a credit repair company, not a credit counselor.
So thank you guys for sorting that out for me. I could not get that word out for some reason this morning. I wanted to talk about the type of clients that you could be marketing to, keeping in mind that it's 1 in 4 that need help. So Tiffany, we're definitely talking about renters here, right? Millennials, credit challenge.
We're talking
first time.
Yes. Yes. So, you know, in our industry, basically 1 in 4 consumers is in need of credit repair. And that is defined as someone that has a 640 FICO score or lower. And so in our, I guess, day and age, that's 1 in 4 consumers. So that is the person coming through the open house as a neighbor that wants to get information on the listing that's currently being listed, and they want to maybe list their own house, but unfortunately they cannot because their credit is bad. It could also be someone returning to the marketplace that had a bankruptcy 4 or 5 years ago that's wanting to sell their home. Millennials, VA, so all of those types of clients. So we're finding it to be, quite honestly, the silent majority.
This service is so affordable. You want to talk a little bit about how you charge for this?
Sure, absolutely. So the Department of Justice regulates how we bill our clients. If you see any company charging a flat fee up front for credit repair services, that is one of the most illegal things that you can do in our industry. So the proper way of doing that is to bill monthly, and our clients pay us $79 a month in arrears. So essentially we work for 30 days. The client then pays us for the services that they've received the prior month. It's also important to note that no client can be in a credit repair program under a contract. So essentially they cannot be obligated to 6 months or 9 months. They should be in a program as a pay-as-you-go, I guess, process. We do have 2 different programs, and depending on which program the consumer needs, whether they need collections settled and derogatory items removed, there would be an enrollment fee. So in our case, our enrollment fee is $199 for clients that just need to fix their derogatory items but don't have collections that need to be settled. Or it's $295 for clients that have both late payments they need removed and collections to be settled. But the Department of Justice makes sure that we specify with the client that their enrollment has actually nothing to do with their credit repair itself. The credit repair is billed $79 a month after they've already received the service. So I want to make sure that's clear.
That's great. How can this tool in the agent's belt help them get new business?
I'm sorry, what?
I was asking how your service can help our agents get new business.
So what we found is that clients that are, realtors that are using our program as a way to market, for example, they're finding a 25% increase in their business within the very first quarter. And all that really means is shifting the way they perceive credit challenge clients. In years previous, you would run away from hearing, well, someone has bad credit, so you just wouldn't invest time, money, and or resources to work with that person because they wouldn't be an immediate buyer. And what we've educated our referral partners is to thinking a little bit differently, knowing that the FICO score slides very generously from the low 500 ranges up into the high 6s. We know that in most cases, someone in the low 500s can go into the high 600 FICO ranges within 90 days. So what that means is getting the low-hanging fruit, the new home buyers, the millennials, and doing some sort of partnership with our company where we can do social media advertising, putting on workshops. We have a wonderful workshop right now that our real estate agent partners are using called FICO Sense to a White Picket Fence. And essentially, it's partnering both via webinar, if that's the way that agents want to market, or in person, holding first-time homebuyer seminars, talking about credit topics. One of the best pieces of marketing that you can do as a realtor is to just mention credit challenges, how to buy with credit challenges, or how to buy and overcome obstacles with credit. Those types of Facebook ads, those types of Google click marketing will pull in a ton of interest. And then our goal is to partner with you agents to help put on seminars where we can actually get that information out to prospective buyers who think that they're 6 years away from purchasing, well, in all actuality, are just a few months away.
That's awesome. My experience as a real estate agent is when I have a property that can go lease option or that the seller will carry back, and I advertise that we will look at credit challenged people, I must get 100 calls. So I know these people are out there. They want their honor back. They want to be homeowners. For Temecula, Riverside agents on February 28th from 11 to 1 with lunch, courtesy of Shelley at Movement Mortgage. We're going to be getting my agents tuned up on how to do this. Tiffany, any last thoughts?
I just wanted to mention that dedicated credit repair partners really, really well with Movement Mortgage. One of the benefits of working with Movement Mortgage is that their underwriting requirements are just so much easier to work with than most lenders. So that even creates even better success story for our program because they tend to need to be in our program a lot less if they also work with Movement Mortgage. So it's just a really great marriage. Shelley's amazing, and I think it's a great opportunity. I really encourage any realtors that are on this call, if you can make time to be at that workshop, I guarantee your business to be just so much easier and quicker to grow with just knowing this basic information that'll help expand your pipeline.
Well, we've enjoyed listening to you. I'm excited about your program. I'm looking forward to our seminar here in Riverside, and we appreciate you being on today. You feel free to stay with us if you'd like, or if you want to, if you need to be excused, we can excuse you at this time now. But we're going to go on with the rest of our program. Thanks again, Tiffany.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm so excited about that product for you guys. I'm really going to be talking a lot about it this year. So I wanted to next bring on our designated broker, Tom Bullock.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Tiffany, thank you for that excellent presentation. Shelley, too, for joining in. That certainly is one great way to look at growing your business here in 2017. Speaking of growing your business in 2017, I'm sure some of us, if not all of us, have heard that the Dow went over 20,000 today. Whether you have stocks or not, that is an excellent indicator that the outlook for business in 2017 for the country is certainly on the upswing, and so hopefully you're able to take advantage of that with respect to growing your business in 2017. One great way to get that started is to keep in touch with your circle of influence, your friends, previous clients, and you need to do that every day. I know you've heard me in the past talk about this, but I do it for a reason, and the reason is that is an excellent way to grow your business. You should be reviewing your business plan every day so you know where you're going. If you don't have a business plan, you're going to be doomed to repeating what you did last year or worse. So again, if you don't have a business plan, develop one. Stay in contact with your clients. By the end of the first quarter of this year, all of you should have reached out and had, at the very least, a phone conversation with a past client, with your friends, with your family, so that they know what you're doing, that you're inspired, that you want to grow your real estate business, and they can play an important part in that. So please keep that in mind. Lastly, I just want to talk about when you as agents get into a dispute with whether it's a client or another agent, before you carry that dispute too far down the road, get in touch with your broker to discuss the situation. Do not send out a lot of emails or have a number of phone conversations, verbal conversations, before you have a chance to talk it through with your broker. You don't want to make a bad or an uncomfortable situation worse. The problem is you as agents, when you're on the front line, it's easy to get emotionally involved. By bouncing back and contacting your broker who's not emotionally involved, they can give you sound advice as to how the situation should be handled so you do not escalate it into something far worse than it needs to be. So again, I would encourage you to use your local broker, Mary Jane, Omar, and Jeff, or myself, so that we can keep you out of trouble and hopefully prevent you from escalating a bad situation into a worse situation. Mary Jane, that's all I have. So thank you all for listening. And again, Tiffany and Shelley, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Tom. I spoke to an agent up here yesterday who I was speaking about one issue, and she had 4 more things that she wished she had asked me, and she went ahead and asked them at that time. And at the end of the conversation, she said, I feel so much better when I call you. I don't know why I do it more. So I'm making a little ad campaign that you're going to see on Facebook that says who you're going to call. We definitely want you reaching out to us. We care very much about your safety. And we want to do everything we can to keep you on the winning side of a transaction. So I thought that was very timely, Tom. Thank you. Omar, you have a little something for us this morning?
I think Jeff Green is right ahead of me, but if Jeff's okay, I'll go ahead and go really quickly. Mine probably won't take more than a couple minutes. I really want to talk about something that's important to a lot of the newer agents. And maybe even more the established agents as well, is some of the agents that have come on board recently have had questions about team building. How do they build a team? How do they get onto a team to help grow their business? And that's something that has been relevant to our industry for a long time, but it's starting to become more important now just because of the number of agents that are coming back into the business. And when you get into the business, you have to either have an established book of business from some previous industry, or you have to know a lot of people. But if you don't, how do you start to generate business right away? One way is to either develop or get onto a team, or if you've already been in the business for some time, you want to now develop a team and be able to grow your business even more. So a few things that we've done here and we're looking to do with some of our agents is help them grow their teams, not from just a one agent and a single transaction coordinator type of team, but hiring a buyer's agent, including some type of a structure where you're able to either give them leads, help them find leads, or have them host open houses, or there's a lot of other duties that can be coordinated with that buyer's agent or other parts of the team. I have a structured layout on how you can go ahead and build a team if you are interested or more interested in wanting to build your team and grow your business. I'd be happy to email that out to whoever is interested in growing their team. Some of the bigger teams that have come across that I've come across in my few years of doing this, they've been the most successful agents in the business. They have gotten to a stage in their business where they can now run it like a business, delegate certain duties to team members, and then kind of even step back and let the team run the business for them. And they're just now more in management. Some of the things that they've done are hire listing specialists, buyer specialists, an assistant who handles day-to-day marketing, all of those things. And they also have what they call as ISA, an inside sales agent, who either they handle some of the the more detailed lead generation topics, whether it be taking the first call on the lead or generating leads and doing outbound calls. So there's a lot of different things you can do to be able to build your team and structure it so if you are the team leader, you can then now, again, step back a little bit, allow the team to have certain roles and delegate those duties to those agents, and then grow the business even more. So all of the agents that I've talked to that have built teams, they have stated clearly that the first hire they make, they believe it's the hardest hire to make, but once they do make that hire, it allows them to then propel their business to the next level very quickly, because they're doing things now that they didn't know was possible previously. So again, if you have more questions about team building or would like to get more information on how to build a team, especially with our model, the 100% model, it is a perfect model for building your team. Email me, give me a call. I'd be happy to share some of the insight and also share with you the kind of flow chart that we use to give certain duties to certain agents that are on your team. That's all I have. Mary, thank you so much.
Thanks, Omar. Well, I saved our best for last. Jeff, you have a little something for us this morning?
Yeah, I need to have the screen share sent over to me. I've got to share my screen. If we can get that done. All right. Okay, if you can let me know whether you see my screen, everybody. Can somebody just...
Car form addendum?
Okay, this is going to be really quick, and because the purpose of the webinar is this is a business builder, so I don't want to turn this into a big academic discussion. I want to tell you some things that are going to help you with your business, to grow your business, and one of the ways you grow your business is by optimizing all your activities so you don't have to redo things and you don't have to create extra work for yourself. And that is true using Addenda more than anything else, because that will bog you down into possibly escalated file review or arguments with other agents as to what is being said, and worst case scenario, having lawyers involved with your transaction, which we want to avoid. So let's take a quick look. We're going to focus on 3 forms today, mostly on 2, but there's the general addendum, there's the modification of terms, and there's the text overflow addendum. Now, the addendum that we use day to day is car form ADM, and it's designed to modify the contract. It's a 2-party form, buyer and seller, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. The other one that's real important is the modification of terms form. If you're going to modify the listing agreement, that's what it's for. You don't use an addendum to modify the listing agreement. If you're going to change the price, you're going to change something to do with your commission, that's what you use, that form there. The text overflow addendum, and sometimes people see it and they go, where is this thing? Where did it come from? It's a smart form, which means that when you're typing on some of the forms and you run out of room, it automatically loads the text overflow addendum, which is really great. It's dynamically generated through zip forms. There are a lot of other addenda in zip forms. There's about 20 of them. There's extension of time addendum. There's a number. We're not going to go through them today. We're just going to cover some basics here. So first of all, addendum versus counteroffer. An addendum modifies an executed agreement, whereas a counteroffer is for negotiation prior to execution. If negotiation occurs while you're in contract, the addendum is used to reduce it to writing and to execution. So you may say something like, you know, there's a change, the seller is going to credit the buyer some more money for closing costs. Simple addendum, seller to credit buyer X amount, whatever, $5,000 for closing cost credit. You don't write it buyer wants or buyer needs or any of that. It's a settled statement of what's already being done. So let's take a look at some very simple essentials. The first one is incorporation. Which form is being modified? In most cases, it's going to be the purchase contract, but sometimes you're going to modify a specific form like the TDS. So you want to incorporate that at the top of the page. Otherwise, the form becomes an orphan. It's out there on its own. What is the date of the form being modified? You put that date on that at the top of the page. Another essential is definitive language, succinct, specific language. Try to boil it down to the shortest phrase possible, not optional things, buyer wants, you know, or proposals or things like that. They're not done on the addendum. You make all those proposals back and forth with the other agent, either verbally or in email, and then you reduce it down to terms that everybody will understand. There's a little bit of argument on this. I talked to somebody the other day. All other terms and conditions to remain the same. I personally don't. I prefer not to use that, because sometimes people say, well, what other terms are we talking about? Are they terms on the addendum? Are they terms outside the addendum? Sometimes people use that phrase to put an end. It's kind of the bottom of the terms of the addendum. I prefer something like this, just a bunch of asterisks and end. Some people are afraid that people might, take a pen and edit their addendum. Especially if you're handwriting an addendum, it's best to draw a line. This is the end of the addendum. Another essential is numbering. When you have an addendum, it shouldn't be some obscure numerical system that people can't figure out. It needs to be 1 through the last number. Sequential per addendum modified. If you're doing a TDS, it might be helpful, you're modifying the TDS. You could call it TDS1 or TDS2 based on the order of it. But there should be never any skipping of numbers without explanation. You don't want to end up in court and the other attorney said, well, where's Addendum 3? I see 1, 2, and 4. Where's Addendum 3? And providing an answer like, well, we don't have that one is really not sufficient. If you get to a point where there's skips for some reason, the best practice is to have a final addendum that states that Addendum 3 or Addendum 2 is not part of the contract and have everybody sign on that. That way you have a written history and a timeline of what occurred. Another best practice is readability. It's good to number items on your addendum. I see some addendums, addenda that come through and it's 30 or 40 words all in run-on sentences and hard to understand. If you number each item, it's easy to refer to the paragraph numbers in the contract when you do it, and also easy to refer to the items on the addendum. So you can have a 1, item number 1 regarding paragraph 14B, and then a short little statement. Good to keep your language simple and to the point. Don't try to sound like a lawyer, and don't use terms you might have to defend in court. If you're using complicated legal language, you're going to be in trouble. Another good practice is do not try to school somebody or put them down using an addendum or other forms. I've seen things like buyer's agent has been irresponsible, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. That's slanderous. It's a violation of our code of ethics. Keep it really simple. If you want to have an argument with another agent, don't do it on the forms. Finally, some cautions. Stick close to the contract. As soon as you write terms outside the contract, you start moving out from under the legal umbrella of car legal. Most of the scenarios in a transaction have been addressed through litigation and through study by attorneys. Almost all of them, probably 98%, 99%, maybe 99.9% are all things that are in our forms. We have 200 plus forms right now. So if you're having trouble expressing it, talk to your broker. You may need to talk to car legal because there may be a form out there that you can fill in without having to write up an addendum, and therefore it's a lot safer because it has the legal muster of car legal. So go ahead and look at that and talk to your broker. If you think a lawyer should be involved, call your broker. Don't just tell your client, hey, go get a lawyer on this one. And if you need help with proper wording, call your broker. And so this is my simple, just kind of point-by-point instructions or suggestions on the forms using an addendum. And if you use your addendum well, people will respect you. You'll get your deals closed faster. You'll have less work to correct, and it should help you build your business and give you more time. And as I like to say, if you're good with paperwork, you'll have more time for people work. There you go, Mary Jane.
That's very good. Thank you. You know, when you call your broker and you tell them the situation and we help you with the wording, we can very often cover several areas and bring it in and kind of land the plane for you. So absolutely you should be calling your broker. Well, I thought today was a great webinar. I'm excited about you guys getting to know dedicated credit repair. Tom, as usual, Omar, Jeff, you guys all did a great job. Unless there's any questions, I think I'm ready to turn it back over. Hello?
Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions at the moment. So thank you everyone so much for joining us today. We would like to give a huge thank you to our California brokers for another great Broker Business Accelerator today. And a big thank you to our guest speaker, Tiffany Haazler, and also Shelley Hoyseth from Movement Mortgage for her presentation today. And thank you everyone who joined us, and we hope to see you next month.